Okay, so cool. So for the first system we spoke about, it's a multi-time frame system where we said you need to look at the 1 hour time frame first, after which you look at the 15-minute time frame. But what are you using to mark these zones? And so we said we are using specific candle patterns. We talked about the bullish engulfing, the bearish engulfing. The video is currently being uploaded, okay, so that you guys can have it. Then we also said, apart from the bullish engulfing and the bearish engulfing, there's another candle pattern which we look out for, the bearish cross and of course the bullish cross. These are patterns that favors the smart money concept because they naturally sweep liquidity, okay? And then we say as much as these candles need to show, it also needs to break a structure such that we have here. So if we have these candles here, sorry, so if we have this candle here, for example, we need to be sure that this particular candle at least broke a structure. But you get what I'm saying? I'm trying, it's a bit difficult for me to copy. Okay. So whenever these engulfing candles form at this point, just be certain that at least it broke a structure. And of course, we used a case scenario on volatility 25. Yeah, this was the example we used. I'm trying to, okay, cool. Here's it. So, no, this just fine. So we said on 1 hour time frame, the trade we had yesterday, first we analyzed this. We can see a bearish engulfing, and so we mark the order block. We can also see another bearish engulfing. I'm just trying to recap the first class, so I'm not going to dwell on this. All right. So now we have seen both bearish. Currently, we have a bearish cross. Remember, we are either using the engulfing candlestick patterns or the cross patterns. And so first things first, you go to the 1 hour time frame and mark those levels. Second, you now go to the 15-minute time frame and make sure they break a structure. So for this first bearish engulfing, which we had on 1 hour time frame, you can see that it clearly broke a structure. So let's change this to black so that it's more visible. Then for the second one, we can see that it also broke a structure here. And then of course, for the third one, we can see that it also broke a structure. Now, let's go back to the 1 hour. Bearish engulfing, bearish cross. This indicator already plots them out for us. And so how do we enter? First, on that 1 hour time frame, we mark. Second, we go to 15 minutes time frame to be sure that they break a structure. The moment we have confirmed that, yes, the engulfing on the 1 hour time frame, which we saw, led to a break of market structure, you go to the 15 minutes. And what do? You make sure that now for the 1 hour time frame, a bearish engulfing is formed here, right? You make sure on the 15-minute time frame, a bearish engulfing is also formed. So you go to the 15-minute time frame. So for this first case study, which we have here, you mark the what order block. So we just extend, sorry. Let me show you this. So mark this, okay? And then let's take this back. And then for this particular one, we mark this, okay? This is the bearish engulfing with the other block, and of course extend. The reason we are reducing the box is because we want to get a smaller stop loss and a larger profit target. Okay, does that make so much sense? Yes, it does. We want to get a smaller stop loss and of course a large profit target. So as simple as candlestick patterns matters, when it comes to smart money concepts, the engulfing holds so much value. Now, why is the engulfing really, really important? Because engulfing carries what we call momentum. In trading, momentum is important. Whenever you see succession of same colored candles, it is trying to say either the bears or the bulls are in control. And these are like blueprints you can use. And so an engulfing candle pattern is a representation of such kind of momentum, all right? And so this is important. Why, when we talk about demand and supply zones, there are a lot of studies, there are a lot of school of thought behind how to mark supply and demand zones. But one of the most simplest and commonest way to mark a demand and supply zone is by looking at for engulfing patterns on the larger time frame, daily 4 hour. But in this case, we want something quick, we want something sharp. And so we are looking at 1 hour as our large time frame, and then 15 minutes as our what entry time frame. And so we have what on 1 hour, we plotted out the engulfing candle patterns, and we need to make sure that on 15 minutes, that same engulfing pattern is still there. So in this case, what are we having here, guys? We have a bearish engulfing. Unfortunately, price reacted to a breaker block, and we're not talking about that today. But in this case, having marked this level, you can see how price created lots and lots of liquidity, got to that brown or ash horizontal box, which we mark. And then, of course, voila, you can imagine this successful trade over here. And so naturally, the bearish engulfing and the bearish cross, even without trying to enter off a retest, when they appear, price just naturally respects them and moves in that line. You have a bearish engulfing, you see price keeps on selling. You have a bullish engulfing, you see price keeps on buying. But for the purpose of this class, we are actually trying to use the retest confirmation pattern. And so rule number one, H1 time frame. Rule number two, make sure that it breaks the structure. Rule number three, the engulfing pattern that showed on H1 should also show on M15. The bearish cross pattern that showed on MH1 should also show on M15. If at any of these points we saw a different candlestick pattern, we are not taking that trade. Rule number four, when price taps into your box, make sure that you don't have a candle that goes above that box, whether by body or by wick. Even if you have a wick that goes above the box, it has been invalidated. You do not have to enter that trade. Okay, I believe this makes so much sense. It applies to both a buy, it applies to both. So are there other examples I skipped? And so I think I showed you guys a DEX 900 buy example, which we had. So I showed you guys a DEX 900 by example, which we had. Look at it. So on 1 hour time frame, we had a bullish cross on 15-minute time frame. So when we had this bullish cross, of course, we mark, right? We marked this order block. And so we went to 15 minutes to make sure that a bullish cross is still available for use. All right. And then you can see. So why this strategy is good is because it has helped you create a trading system of patience, a trading system that is rule-based, a trading system devoid of what? Guessing. Okay. So guys, let's move over to the next trading system. And so this is just the next one I'm going to be revealing to you guys is just a very, very simple trading system. It is called trend following system. What did I say it was? Fine, yeah, because it looks very beautiful. So for those of you who have been following me in the past, you know I'm a big fan of Ichimoku. Okay. So this is just for those of you who are very busy, you just want to look at your chart and then make money. You can choose to, for example, if you just give me a few seconds, guys. All right, so sorry, I had a call. Okay, so let's go back. Now, for those of you who have been following me from time past, you know I'm a big fan of Ichimoku, but I think Ichimoku is not going to be needed because the color of the candles should serve as your trend confirmation. You can decide to use multi-time frame analysis in this case. I think this is not necessary. When I'm revealing the plateau for the boom and crash, that is when we are going to use that particular indicator. Okay. Now, this is how it works. Are you guys not able to hear me? Someone just said no audio. I think I've unmuted my mic.
We can hear you.
All right, thank you. Now, this is just a very simple trend following system. Whenever the colors of the candles are, let me just call this blue. All you need to do is look at for those two candlestick patterns we spoke about, either the engulfing or the cross. So whenever the bullish cross shows, you can enter off a retest or enter immediately. So this is a first example. A bullish cross shows on M15, and then you can see a goodbye signal. A bullish engulfing shows a good buy signal. Now, if you have a bullish cross or a bullish engulfing showing why the color of the candle is indicating a sell move, totally ignore. Now, the good thing about this system is you don't need to trade every pair because you will have multiple entries. Okay, all you have to do is keeping your stop loss below the engulfing or the cross candle. It is a very tight stop loss trade entry. All right, all you are just trying to do is follow. A better way you can do this, look at H1. The moment H1 is colored green, sorry, blue in color, because this stuff doesn't repaint, the bullish engulfing pattern changes at some point, but the color candles, it stays the same way. Okay, so that's why I prefer to use the bullish engulfing a retest and different confirmation. I don't use it as 100% yardstick because it is not 100%. If sometimes when price goes above it, it tries to give you a different position. It's some of those things with indicators, but for this one, we are using it as a standalone indicator because it is good on its own. So we are going to use this with multi-time frame. Now, look at this point where I marked white, okay? This point where I marked white, where we first had the blue color candle appearing. Now, all you have to do is go to 15 minutes and spot what? Bullish engulfing or bullish cross. You can mark them out and use them as areas of what? Retest. Let me change this to white. Yeah, or you can use them as instant entry execution. So at this point, where you have a bull cross, you can enter. Okay. For those of you who are already good with trading, you can enter at swing levels as long as the color of this candle is still blue in color. If at any point it changes color, do not enter. And so at this point where it's changed color, you can enter. At this point where it changed color, you can enter. And then you keep enjoying massive entries. H1, we have a verified color in trend move. And then 15 minutes, you start looking for these candlestick patterns, or you enter off when the color of the candle has naturally changed. I hope I'm ready. Yeah, it's being recorded. All right. So let's move. So you can see another entry which you would have had at this point by using the color of the candle. But note, there was no engulfing. There was no one here. So you can also have entered here. This would have hit your stop loss anyway, because you can see this candle, but that's fine. All right. You can enter again after it's changed color. The most important thing is H1 is still very much bullish. Even why the H1 is on, like, this is actually beautiful, especially when you come back. Like, there are various variations to combine this. The thing is, you don't need to stress yourself asking yourself, okay, what is the current trend of the market? Go to H1 and identify it. Let me show you loss examples. Look at this parts where we had a different color candle. So just stay with me. Okay. On H1, we had this, and then from this point to this point. Cool. Now you go to M15. Let's look at that levels we mark. So now that we are on M15, we didn't have a new signal. So I don't think we would have entered. You can see there was no bearish engulfing or anything. But let's assume, keep the candles different. Let's assume if we had a different color. Please note, as much as H1 showed you that, yes, we are in a sell trend, you need a new brown colored candle appear. And what I mean by that, H1 has showed you, but on M15, you need to see a blue appear, and then, of course, a brown color reappear before you can what? Enter. But from this point up until this point, we did not have that scenario. And so there is no trade we possibly would have taken, okay? So that is how we are saying. So let's look at, I just like being realistic with what you should expect if you should use this. So from this point to this point, it said that we are in a possible buy move. So let's look at what we had on M15. Now, you can see at this point, now take note of this. Whenever you have a different color candle and price has moved a long distance, avoid it. I think tomorrow I'll be showing you a volume indicator that is very important to avoid conditions like this. Because whenever the market is ranging, you need to now understand the importance of trading with demand and supply levels. Because as much as this is a ranging market, it is not going to make so much sense. You are entering when price has moved. You are going to just get few people, you are stopped at few pips in profit, and then you're stopped at. It will now make so much sense if you can enter at levels like this. But that's not what I'm teaching today. I'm just trying to teach a trend following system. And now the problem of trend following system exists that ranges can get you frustrated. You enter, it hits your stop loss. Okay. And so that's why those of us who understand both system of trading still ends up going back to entering at levels where we can have snipers. All right. And so when the H1 gives you that color candle confirmation, and then you go to M15, you can spot what bullish, what engulfing candle patterns. Okay, you can spot bullish engulfing candle patterns. Unfortunately, I think that candle pattern is not able to go up to 4,000 candles behind. If not, we would have seen different bullish candle patterns and then use that as a demand level to enter only buy trades. Okay, so let's look at more examples. I don't want to show you guys this part from this part to this part. They are all juicy. I'm looking for those hard parts you are going to experience yourself. So let's go to volatility 75, one of those crazy pairs. So you can see this particular trade. I marked them using that first trading system, which I taught you guys. So on H1, what did we have? Let's see. We had a bullish cross. So let me extend. On H1, we had a bullish cross. On M15, what did we have? Nothing appeared. So as long as nothing appeared here, there's no way I'm going to take this trade. All right. So, but it was actually good. But rules has to be kept. So let's move to the next. So 0.005, that is what I named it as. So from this point, let's start from this point. I'm just going to mark. From here, where we had a brown color up until this point, we are going to see things for ourselves up until this point where the market finally changed. So we'll just go to M15. Good. So when you go to M15, once you spot a bearish engulfing, you can enter instantly. If you choose not to enter instantly, you can just mark that level and say, okay, if price comes to that level, you can what? Sell. Now, a bearish cross, you can mark that level and say if price comes, you would what? Sell. So let's just, you can see how beautiful this is. A bearish engulfing, you mark. You can see how the retest work. Bearish Herami, we are not using bearish Herami. Now we have a bearish engulfing here, and you can see how price retests all this. And so this is actually good. And then did we have any other bearish engulfing? No one for now. Please note, if you have a bearish engulfing on a different color candle, avoid it because the color candle does not change. Okay, so that's a very good yardstick for basing your judgment. All along where we had bearish engulfing, bearish cross, bearish engulfing, the color of the candles remained the same. And so it's a better confirmation. Either you enter instantly when it appears, or you wait for price to retest that. Okay, and then of course you can enter. This is just a simple trend following system. For this guy here, it works perfectly on boom and crash. That's why I said for boom and crash, it will be specifically for tomorrow. I just want to treat volatility. So let's do step index. So Still on this, before we move to step index, the current trend of the market still shows what? Bearish. So from this point to this point, it still shows bearish. Okay. So we'll just go to M15. Still looking out for what? A situation whereby the color of the candles changes to brown, and then we start spotting what? Bearish engulfing. In this case, we cannot do anything because the color of the candle on 15 minutes is trying to say, okay, long trend is trying to kick off. Okay, so let's look at volatility 10. I think that is less volatile. So this is volatility 10. We'll go to H1 as usual. Cool. All right, so looking at where we can possibly start. So from this point, yes, we had sell news. So now that we have this on H1, we'll go to M15. Now on M15, we can see a bearish engulfing. So you can actually enter here. And if you entered instantly at this point, that's cool. You can wait for what? A retest. Okay. So I'm expecting that there's the possibility that price can tap into here and of course continue its downward direction. Bearing in mind that on H1, we are still very much bearish. But even if you choose not to an M15, all you can do is just stay on M15. You can even go as low as M5 if you have the time. Whenever the color of the candle changes, you look at for those candle patterns that matches the color of the candle. You are going to have lots of winners using this trend system. You are also going to experience losses, but allow 15 minutes and 5 minutes so that your stop loss can be very, very little. Okay, as long as you have variety of pairs, you can really, really, really go wrong. Okay, it's not about trying to win always, it's about trying to maximize our entries. Okay, so we have pretty much 8 minutes. I'm going to allow us ask questions either on the first trading system that was reviewed or on this. And then tomorrow we are going to do the MT4 system, both the smart money concept and the indicator concept. On Thursday, Wednesday rather, we are going to do the trading view for both Derive and for both trade Forex. And I'm going to be sharing all this with you guys. Anyone you don't have, just ask me. I'm going to send it to you on WhatsApp. Okay. So let me use the next 7 minutes. Ask me questions. While you're preparing your question, I'm trying to look at volatility. I think we have done step index. But for me personally, if you ask me, sir, which trading system are you using? Actually use both. If I'm very, very tired or the market has flogged me, I rush back to that trend following system. But if I want to be very professional and feel like a boss, of course, I use this one because there is nothing as sweet as getting snipers in the market. So like this is step index on H1. We have what? A bullish engulfing here. I think I'm going to do the part 2, 3 of this particular strategy because it comes with a lot of information. You need to look at for break of structure. You need to look at for fair value gap. Now on M15, we can still see what the bullish engulfing appearing. Cool. Is there an FVG before that? Fine. There is an FVG. So it makes so much sense. So what happens is if step index falls to this level, I'm going to look at for candle patterns. Remember, it must not go above below this line. The moment it goes, I'm not entering. Every reversal that wants to happen should happen neatly here. And possibly or you switch to the other system Each one, what trend are we on step index? Of course, we are bullish, okay? And this still makes so much sense. Everything is looking good. Everything is good. So you can use a lot of confirmation just to make sure that you're on the right track. So ask me questions. Any question? Just yeah, I'm listening. Yeah. This is the first time I'm teaching and everything seems so simple. I feel like this is because I know that you guys know how to ask. So I'm very, very surprised that, well, I believe that over time, a lot of you have improved personally. Just a moment, let me look at my forex trades. I hope GBP ends.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm listening to your questions while I'm also looking at my.
Okay, I just want to ask about like you didn't talk about the indicator you were using, like those indicators that are rising, bullish, engulfing, and the
Yes,
one
I
that are
said
changing the
send me a
color.
message on WhatsApp so that I can send them to you.
Okay, okay. Thank
GBP NZD has so far been my best pair for the week. And I think last week too. Okay, so in the absence of no question, I think this made so much sense. Tomorrow, expect the part two for the MT4 and the next day trading view version. This week, as much as I'm giving signals, it is going to be back-to-back lessons so that once I'm done with you guys this week, you would have enough materials to confirm your trades. We must succeed in trading, okay? Yours might take long, yours might just be in a few days, but the most important thing, keep making those steps towards greatness. And I believe we are going to come out good. All right. Thank you so much for your time. And the first one has been uploaded. I'll send the link for those of you who missed it. It is powerful. Please watch. Then send me a message on WhatsApp so that I can send you the indicators and everything with the templates, just the way it's showing on my laptop, it should show on yours. And then for those of you who don't have a laptop, I will do a phone version, especially for the first system. I think pretty much, but that is where you have to put in efforts because for the phone version, there's no expo. You just need to do it yourself. But yes, I will do a video for the phone version and then send it to you. You guys can still get something to do. All right. So thank you. God bless you for the time and see you tomorrow, same time. We are going to use Zoom too tomorrow, okay? And it should be powerful.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you. Thank